from the Georgia Dome, it's the GHSA Class 4A semifinals. Tonight's matchup features the 12-1 Bears of Griffin High School, ranked number 6 in the state, versus the number 2 ranked Blue Devils of Statesboro High, who are a perfect 13-0. This is game number 5 of a 10-game weekend, and it's all live right here on Georgia Public Broadcasting. Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Charles Ward here alongside former Georgia Southern great Tracy Ham. Lisa Weiss will join us in a moment. But Tracy, first, we promised the viewers that we would expose them to the greatest athletes in the state of Georgia on the high school level. This ball game tonight promises to be no different.
Certainly, Charles, you are certainly correct in that aspect. When the team gets here, they've earned the right to get here by a great play. And we start off with the Griffin Bears and number 9, Leon Berry. He has shown that he is one of the better backs in the state. 120 rushes, 1,333 yards, 11.1 average per carry. And Leon has done a great job. And on the other side of the ball, defensively for the Griffin Bears, you have Kashif Spears, who's been one of the leading tacklers on the team, 10 tackles for a loss. And the coaches love players like Spears.
Stephen Dvorsny is the head coach of the Griffin Bears. We caught up with him before the ball game to get his idea about tonight's game plan.
Well, offensively, we're going to be a wing T formation. We're going to probably try to set the run up. We're predominantly a run team. We have 3 backs who've rushed over 1,000 yards apiece. We're kind of led by Bobby Rainey, our fullback. He's gone over 200 yards every playoff game so far, so we're going to try to get him the ball definitely and feature him. Defensively, we're a 5-2 defense. We're attacking defense. We're going to try to get 11 to the football and try to force you to throw the ball. And, you know, basically that's what we do on offense and defense.
Tracy, of course, the Blue Devils of Statesboro undefeated on this season, and a lot of that reason is because of their offensive punch led by their quarterback.
Certainly, David Cone has been the key to Statesboro offense. He's done a good job of managing the team. The numbers are not just that jump out at you, but what it does show you that he has managed the team very well from a quarterback standpoint of view. And on the defensive side of the ball, Charles, you have Corey Russian at linebacker, who's done an exceptional job tackling the football for Statesboro High. And you'll see tonight that he has to do a good job in stopping the Griffin Bears today.
Of course, the Blue Devils, coached by Steve Pennington, in his second year. We caught up with him prior to the contest and got his thoughts about their game plan as well.
Our offense is based on a power wishbone, and we want to really line up in 2 tight ends and get 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Defensively, we are base 50. It looks like a 4-4. We drop off an outside linebacker, but it's a read defense.
Third member of our broadcast team is down at sideline. That's Lisa Weiss. Lisa?
70s and early 80s, the Griffin Bears were a football powerhouse. They won their last state championship in 1978 when they tied with Valdosta. Their last trip to the Big Dance was 1980, but they lost to Lowndes. Now, this is the Bears' first trip ever to the Georgia Dome, and no one is more excited than head coach Steve Dvorsny. Now, he's been with the team, and in the past 4 years, they've been to the quarterfinals 3 times, and he is just relieved to finally get over the hump and make it to the semifinals and be that much closer to bringing home Griffin its first state title in 10,000 days. And Charles, if you're doing the math upstairs, that's about 27 years, give or take a few months.
Same as my age, Lisa. Thanks a bunch. We'll step aside for a timeout. We are back live inside the Georgia Dome. You can see the Blue Devils of Statesboro High School making it onto their artificial surface here. As we get set for the kickoff, Blue Devils at 13-0. The Bears of Griffin at 12-1. Coach Steve Dvorsny of Griffin High School. Take a look at his performance over 5 years, 44-17, nice winning percentage. And his counterpart on the other sideline, one of the best men in all of high school football, Steve Pennington. Garland to get us going with the kick. It'll come down to the Blue Devils at the 20-yard line and straight ahead with the run for Statesboro. It's John Knox, the reserve defensive back for the Blue Devils.
Certainly number 20, John Knox, did a good job of getting the ball back. And as David Cone runs onto the field there, you can see his numbers. They don't jump out at you, Charles, but what they say is that he has done a good job of managing this offensive unit. And some of it, he's had to sacrifice his talent to manage the offense to help them win ball games.
And manage he does. Started as a sophomore for the Blue Devils. In his senior year now, they go on the ground, left side. Carry by Charles Rock, a name we'll be calling frequently tonight in this semifinal football game. Blue Devil lineup up front. It's Michael, Brake, Allen, and Palmer. Waters to the center. Lanier and Rock, we just mentioned him. He's the running back. That's the running back core. Natson at the tight end. And Cody at the other tight. 2nd and 3 for the Blue Devils. On the ground, right side, and bang hard at the line of scrimmage. Carry by Latavius Maynard for Statesboro. As you look at the Griffin defense, War, Jackson, Green, and Ogletree. We'll be mentioning that name a lot tonight. And the linebacking core, Johnson, Glanton, and Spear for Griffin. Secondary is Berry and Atkins. Rainey and Harris as safeties, but Berry and Atkins, in Griffin history, they say that that too is the best set of cornerbacks they've had in quite a while. 3rd down and 1 now. On the ground, coming left side this time. Carry by Rock, number 37 for Statesboro. Rock close to the 1st down marker.
And the key always in these type of ball games, Charles, is who can establish the line of scrimmage? Can Griffin play on Statesboro's side of the ball, or will Statesboro offensive line play on Griffin's side of the ball? And so those will be some key matchups. As you see, Griffin was not able to hold them from getting the first down, and that's always a key play. Can you get a 1st down to start establishing yourself, establishing the run? Because that's what you're going to see most of the night, or if not all night, is good, solid running from Statesboro.
And in fact, from the Bears as well. 1st down pickup by Rock and the Blue Devils. They go misdirection, right side, coming with the football this trip. It's Latavius Maynard, the junior running back. Maynard picks up about 3 for the Blue Devils.
And as you heard off the top of the show, Coach Pennington was saying he's happy with 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And so that's just old-time football. We're saying my guys up front can sustain longer than your guys on your defensive front. And so we'll see if Statesboro can hold on to that philosophy this evening at the Georgia Dome.
They break the wishbone set. It's 2nd down and 7. Right side, Maynard once again bangs it into Bear territory. They got it up near the 47-yard line. Stop made by the senior Tyler Ogletree on Maynard.
And Griffin has to be able to get penetration on Statesboro's side of the ball, because if they don't, Statesboro will run right, run left, and it'll be a long evening for the defensive front, but it'll be a short evening for commentating.
I think I understand what you're saying, Tracy. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Wing piece set to bring a man in motion. It's Rock. They keep it on the ground instead. The carry by Lonnie Brown, the junior. Brown moves the pack ahead, maybe a 4-yard. Stop made by Michael War.
Number 34, Michael Ward. That's what he has to do, is get in the backfield, stop the penetration, and Griffin should be comfortable with some misdirection, because their offense is similar to Statesboro. When they break their wishbone set, they go into a wing T set that's similar to what Griffin runs. And so number 34 did an excellent job in tackling the football, then keeping it limited to just a yard.
Blue Devils in their 4th trip to the Georgia Dome, looking for the same type of success they've had in the past in the semifinals. Pass upfield. This one incomplete, intended for Cannell Thompson. And Cone puts it right on the money.
Well, number 1, Cannell Thompson had a chance to make a play. Right there, you can see the ability of number 16, David Cone. He's able to put the ball right on the face mask, which in turn went right through his hands. But you can see David Cone does have a lot of ability to throw the football, and I think they'll realize that as the game progresses, that number 16, David Cone, can throw the football.
Make it 3rd down now for the Blue Devils. 1st possession of this semi-final football game. The winner advances to the championships next weekend, meeting the War Eagles on north side of Warner Robins. Cone drops. Here comes the pressure by the Bears. They chase him toward the sideline. Pass goes incomplete.
Just great pressure by number 75. from Griffin defensive line. Just a great job of getting in the backfield by number 75 and number 55. Both of them were in the backfield, and that's what you have to do. But then once again, you see David able to manage the team, get it out of bounds, and I think that's what Griffin want to do. If they're going to be successful tonight, they have to make him move out of the pocket and not be stationary.
Toby Jackson with the pressure on Cone. Now McCook on to kick it away for the Blue Devils. Fair catch signaled by Bobby Rainey for the Bears, but it will roll dead near the 11-yard line. And that's where the Bears will have their first offensive possession of the ball game.
And the Griffin staff have to be ecstatic about what they were able to do to Statesboro offense on that series, not allowing them to grind too much out of on offense, and then basically put them in second and long situations, which is always tough for a running team.
Junior quarterback Wade White. We'll talk more about him during the ballgame, but you see what he's done on the year. If the numbers look a little bit low, White only took over in the 5th game of the season for the Bears. But they've won every one since he's been in there. In motion. They give it on the ground, carried by Rainey. Rainey met with a wave of blue at the line of scrimmage, may have lost a yard.
Now, we didn't highlight Rainey at the top of the show, but he's another back that's been very productive for the Griffin Bears. And you'll see that they have a combination of back where Rainey come down, a little misdirection there, but Statesboro was able to get penetration. And anytime you get penetration, you're going to make it tough on people to run the football.
You saw Josh McCook sticking his head in there and putting the pot on Rainey to make the stop.
How you like that, Charles, from punter to linebacker?
Yeah, just that quickly, right? I formation this time for Wade and the Bears. Left side, Rainey looking for some room, dives ahead near the 15-yard line. David Jones on the stop. Take a look at the Bears up front. Hoots, Bird, Love, and Glanton with Big Ogletree. They call him Tree at 6'7", 300 pounds. Berry and Harris the wideouts. McKinney and Taylor the wideouts. Check Berry, the wing back for the Bears. And Rainey, of course, the running back. No score here from the Georgia Dome. Just underway. We're just getting close to the midpoint of this first quarter. Quick moving first quarter. Going to do a throwback here. Rainey with the football. Now he'll run it. Getting pressure. Raises, fires. Almost intercepted by the Blue Devil defense. Number 20, John Knox.
What great pressure by Statesboro. They was not fooled as Knox. You see Knox on the ground roll. He may be banged up. Number 20, John Knox. As you look at the replay, it was a throwback to the quarterback. Statesboro was very patient. Rainey shows his athletic ability to run around, still has the presence of mind to keep the ball up, almost threw an interception. But the key to that play was the defensive pressure by Statesboro. And you can see number 33 in there, number 32, and number 44 to make it tough to run that type of play.
So Rainey's pass goes incomplete. An injured Blue Devil down near the 5-yard line. We actually have two. Knox was knocked around a little bit on that play where he almost had the interception, but another Blue Devil down near the 5 looks to be number 41, Reed Tanner, the senior.
And it's always a special game for seniors because they get to come play their last, not necessarily their last football game, but to be able to get their last indoor ball game at the Georgia Dome, because this is one of the great facilities, not only in the state of Georgia, but in the country. And for kids to be able to play here, that's always a special treat for seniors.
Lisa Wee standing by at sideline. Weezy.
Joining me right now is Jesse Tuggle, former Atlanta Falcon, but more importantly, former Griffin Bear. Talk a little bit about how exciting it is to watch your team here at the Georgia Dome.
You know, it's very exciting because this organization, this team has a lot of rich tradition. There's been so many NFL players that have been come from this high school football team. And to be right here in the Georgia Dome right now supporting my hometown and my hometown football team, great feeling. We want to be in a place else.
And I know you weren't there for the championship reign, but you were there in the 80s. Talk a little bit about playing back there.
You know, I graduated in '83, and I played on the 1982 football team where it was 11-3. So it's been a long drought since the football team had this much success, and it's well overdue. And I'm thinking right now this is not enough for us. We want to win tonight, but we want to win a state championship. And I think we won't be satisfied until we actually win that state championship again.
I know the feeling. I've talked to a lot of the players and the coaches, and they feel the same way as well. Well, thanks, Jesse, and I'll send it back up to you, Charles.
Thank you, Lisa.
Now, Charles, I played against Jesse in college, and I'm going to tell you now, I was up in flinching some.
So the Bears will have to punt it away now Fair catch being called for near the 45-yard line by Thompson. So the Blue Devils will have it back on offense.
One of my hardest hits come from Jesse Tucker.
I think a lot of folks
now,
can
he
say
was
that.
small, but I tell you, he was a heck of a football player because he had speed and he knew how. I think he still knows how to tackle the football. And I tell you, when he hits you, you remember that.
Well, he sure looked to be in real good shape. And of course, Jesse was one of our broadcasters a few years back for some semifinal action from the Dome. Blue Devils with the football. Rock on the carry, and they turn him upside down near the 44. Stop made by Bobby Rainey.
Number 3, Bobby Rainey, playing both sides of the ball really well, and he's playing tough on offense as well as tough on defense there. You see his rushing numbers, 143 carries, 143 rushes for over 1,300 yards.
The average is what's really astounding there, over 9 yards per carry. Blue Devils on offense. They're trying to work it at the corner. Flag coming in on the play. Rock with the carry, but nowhere to go for Rock. Glanton, the junior, number 65, in on the stop for the Bears. But the holding is the preliminary indication against the Blue Devils.
Holding on the offense. Penalty decline. 3rd down.
The referee Chuck Adams with the call.
If the beginning of this game is any indication how it's going to end up, Charles, as you see the referee crew there, the Peachtree State Football Officials Association, Adams, McCurry, Austin, Jackson, Evans, and Tidrick. It's going to be, yards are going to be tough to come by. You know, it's going to be tough football, and this is why Statesboro has been in these type of ball games. Griffin has been in these type of ball games, so it should be an excellent outcome to this ball game.
3rd down, obvious passing situation for Cone. He'll take the drop. Here comes the pressure by the Bears, and they get the sack on him near midfield. Tyler Ogletree, the senior, got the penetration for the Bears, and he gets the sack on Cone.
Well, you can see Statesboro is not really used to dropping back. Number 59 just could not hold number 75 Tree out of the backfield. He just is such a big, awesome looking specimen that it's just tough to keep him out of there. And you can tell Statesboro is not equipped to pass the ball from a drop back stance.
McCook with a high kick. Rainey calls for the fair catch near the 14-yard line, and the Bears will have it back on offense. So neither team giving much ground in this first quarter, Tracy.
Well, it's been a field position battle right now. Statesboro got the good return, and they got a couple first downs on their first series. And so they were punt to pin Griffin Bears back in the hole, and Griffin has not been able to get had not been able to get a first down in their first series. So we'll see what happens on their second series here.
Wade, the junior quarterback, interesting story. Only started playing football for the Bears this year. And we'll tell you how that all evolved after this play. Wade fumbles it at the line of scrimmage, but covers it for the Bears. Wade was in the history class of Coach Dvorsny last year, and Coach Dvorsny just kept putting that coach's pressure on him and finally convinced him to come out and play. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Blue Devils. Up front, it's Houston, Tanner, Big Tyson, and Deacle up front for the Blue Devils. Linebacking core, that's a good one. Rushing, Jones, McCook, and Butler. Corey Rushing, their leading tackler. Back in the secondary, it's Rollins and Wilkerson, and Knox is the safety. Wilkerson's the threat for the Blue Devils in terms of the defense. On the ground, left side, shaking at the corner. Sidney Harris, the junior, running it near the first down mark and has enough for the Bear first down.
And you got a first chance to look at some of the speed that the Griffin Bears have on their roster. He just beat him to the corner. You can see here where he come in motion, and they don't even fake it to the fullback. Just give a quick pitch. They call that a quick pitch to the wing back, and once he gets to the corner, you can see the speed that they have on their roster.
Knox with the tackle for the Blue Devils. Sidney Harris on the season, over 1,000 yards and 120 rushes. Another great average at 8.5 yards per carry. This time they cut a quick pitch, and they fumble the football, but whistles at the line of scrimmage. Rainey's going to still continue with the play, though.
I don't think they heard the whistle there. You got to keep playing till you hear the whistle. You always hear the coach say, play till you hear the whistle. Well, Coach, I didn't hear the whistle that time, so you keep playing.
Out of the chaos, we'll take a look at the replay. It was supposed to be just a quick pitch right side.
Looked like the pitch was behind him. And that's tough when you're running downhill and the pitch is behind you. You just want to get your quarterback and say, give it to me. Do you not see the pressure that's coming? You know, what a great story come out the history class to the Georgia Dome. I don't know if I could handle that in that process, but obviously he's done a good job managing the team. And then quarterbacking, and 90% of quarterbacking is managing your team, managing your players, understanding what your role is, and each quarterback understands that.
And Wade, only starting the latter part of the season, picked up in the 5th game of the campaign. Quick pitch this one going right side. Punched at the sideline. They gave it to Leon Berry. And Berry met a host of Blue Devils at the right corner.
Well, you can see, Coach, they're going to give Berry and Rainey a heavy dose, and that's what they've done all year, and they're not going to change. One thing about coaching, you don't change when you get to the big games. You just continue to do what you've done all year, and because that's what you know, and that's how you know how to be successful.
Offensive coordinator Will Orban repeats exactly what you're saying. He said that we're going to do what we do, and then we'll see what happens from there. So they're doing it right now. We face a 2nd down and 9. Quick pitch left side. Trying to get it to the corner is Harris. He's got some room there. Looks to have enough for the Bear 1st down.
And anytime that cornerback comes inside, there's going to be trouble there. Cornerback stuck his nose inside. With that speed, you can see the speed as the running back hits the corner. Number 2 hits the corner, and number 90 gets it. What a great block. And then you can see the cornerback just not being able to maintain his position outside. And with speed, you have to stay in your lane. You know, what a great block by number 3. He just pinned this man inside, and that was the key to the play.
Bobby Rainey with the good block to spring Harris to the outside. It's 1st and 10 for the Bears. On the ground, they give it again to Harris. Harris past the 40, near the 41.
See, I think plays like that, they're not big plays, but it's important that they still establish run up the middle. As you see Coach looking on, it's important that they do run the ball up the middle. I don't think you can continue to run it outside without showing anything up the middle. So I thought that was, even though it didn't get much yards, it still was an important play for Griffin.
Good point. 2nd down and 7 now for the Bears. They go on the ground. Flags at the line of scrimmage. Carried by Bobby Rainey. We'll check out the flag. Rainey also with some impressive numbers for the Bears. Both he and Berry over 1,300 yards rushing on the season.
Well, when you get 2 good backs, well, actually it's a 3rd. Number 2, Harris is just over 1,000 yards rushing. So yeah, really they have 3 good running backs, and when you have those type of players, as you saw on the big run by Harris, Rainey got the key block. So you have to have committed ball players that will block as well as run. They understand how important they are.
On the offense, main 2nd down.
Coach Dvorsny a bit concerned after the infraction against the Bears. But your point well taken, Tracy, that 3-setter, they call it the 3-headed monster, or the 3-headed running situation for the Bears, have been very effective throughout the season. Here comes the quick pitch. This one going to the right side this time. And Rainey with the carry. Got it back to the initial line of scrimmage.
When you run the football, one thing that the coach is always concerned about is, are we on schedule? Are we off schedule? And they got off schedule with the penalty. As soon as you get off schedule, it throws the whole running attack off. And so they have to have a big play somewhere, either from the quarterback throwing the ball or a big run. And so right now, and as you saw with Statesboro, they got off schedule. So it makes it difficult for a running team as soon as they get off schedule running the ball, because they bank on that 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
3rd down and 9 now for the Bears. White, short roll right side. Still rolling. Now he'll tuck and run. White wrestled down from behind near the 45-yard line, shy of the 1st down marker. David Jones, number 18, the linebacker, on the stop as you take a look at it from field level. It's about as close as we can get you to the real live action.
And once again, Statesboro, a very disciplined defense. They'll give up the 2 or 3 yards, but they understood the situation that it was 3rd and long, and so they gave up the 3 yards rushing that play.
So now the Bears, Michael Ware will punt it away. And the Blue Devils will let it bounce. Rolls inside the 20. Bears with a favorable roll there. Devils will start from the 18.
And that's one of the key plays. I think that's one of the things that is often missed in the Dome, where when you're at home outside, you can let the ball bounce. But this will be a key for field position in these type of ball games, because when the ball hits the surface here, it'll roll. So you really want your kids to catch the football if they can.
Blue Devils starting from their own 18-yard line. Second man through. Maynard has to carry. Maynard got it over to 20, up near the 21-yard line.
And we talk about staying on schedule. Charles, you see right there now, to the fan, that looked like, well, that was okay play. But when you as a football coach and you talking to Coach Pennington, that was a good, successful football play because they got plus 4 yards there. Now they're on schedule. And as a fan, when you're looking at it, this is what we talk about. We talk about staying on schedule. They're on schedule now for a running football team.
It is 2nd down and 6 to pick up a 4 by Maynard. And keep it right side. Crunched at the line of scrimmage. Maynard was crunched by Ogletree.
Now they off schedule.
That'll do it.
That'll take you off schedule right there. Well, he's been the dominant defensive player for Griffin thus far in the game. He's shown that he can't be blocked at this point in time. As you see him, guy tries to cut him off at the paint. He just get up underneath the shoulder pads.
Ogletree, the 3-year starter for the Bears. Everything for them. Was voted best defensive lineman 3 years in a row. Also voted their academic athlete as well with a 3.2 GPA.
He just got my vote
Yes,
for
sir.
best defensive player as well. So, what an outstanding player. And you like to see young men reward for being in the program over time and being a 3-year starter. You can see he's been rewarded with coming to the Dome.
3rd down and 7 after the monstrous hit by Ogletree. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. We still have no score. We're right back where we started. We'll step aside for a timeout. We'll start the second. We are back live inside the Georgia Dome, the 4A semifinals. The Bears of Griffin and the Blue Devils of Statesboro. Nothing as we get set to start the second. Charles Ward, Tracy Ham with the play call. Lisa Weiss down at sideline. 3rd down for the Blue Devils. 6 to go for the first. Cone going up top, trying to get some separation. Pass caught at the sideline. It's Knox. They say he stepped out near the 47-yard line. Bears get a break there. Good timing from Cone to Knox on the pass.
No, I would say Statesboro got a break there, and the Bears got a break because look like when you look at the play, Cone makes a great throw, but look like the cornerback was in perfect position to make the interception, and then he just missed the ball. Number 8 was in perfect, just a great thrown ball, and number 20 makes the catch. But both teams really got a break there because it went from looking like an interception by number 8 to a great catch by number 20 from Statesboro, and what a great throw by David Cone. And I think that's one of the things we talked about at the top of the show, his ability to throw the football.
Cone connects with Knox. That puts the Blue Devils inside of Bear territory. Right side, short side of the field. They give it to Charles Joyce. Joyce, number 4, working it near the 46-yard line.
And I think one of the keys for Statesboro is, are they going to be able to throw on a throwing down when the defense know they're going to throw, or will they throw some on first down? Because Griffin was ready for the pass, and yet they couldn't stop it. So they threw on a throwing down, which was Griffin was prepared for. So this is an interesting matchup because both teams are basically doing what they want to do from an offensive standpoint of view. But I think we need to keep an eye on number 75, Ogletree, and see if they're lining them up over the right guard for Statesboro.
Short drop for Knox, going back up top. Kind of got some separation out there. Pass intended for Kendall Thompson, the junior, but slightly overthrown.
Now, Griffin caught a break there because when you look at this play, number 9 had no idea the ball was in the air. And I think that's one of the things he got to be careful. The lights, they'll do that to you. When you play against a running team, you get so used to them running the ball. Number 9 had no idea the ball was in the air at the time. So as a cornerback, you have to, if it's cover 1, you have to stay in coverage. And that'll be key for Griffin. Can their cornerback stay in coverage, or will they try to come off and make plays on the run?
Now, as a former quarterback and coach, you see that situation where the defender's not even looking. Did you put that in the Rolodex and come back to it?
Well, you always put little stars by it.
3rd down now for the Blue Devils. Cone, they're going to try to throw back to the right side. They got the wall set perfectly to the right side. Racing it down to the 20 with a couple of men to beat. Finally bounced out of bounds. It's Sherrod Natson, and Natson got it down near the 11-yard line for the Blue Devils.
Number 87, what a great job by Natson, number 87. And then I thought it was an excellent setup screen because everything looked like it was going to the left. And he even rolled to his left, and he come back, and the tight end, number 87, was there with blockers. Number 72 is out front, makes a great block right there, number 72. Number 58 was right there. So they had a good wall set up for that play. Big play for Statesboro.
Natson on the regular season, 5 receptions, 112 yards. A big catch here in the semifinals for the sophomore. Cone to the line of scrimmage. Now seems to be changing the play. I saw something at the line. Goal on the ground. It's Joyce carrying the football. Had it inside the 10, but the surge by the Bears pushes him back outside.
Good surge by the defensive line of Griffin. Number 69 made a great surge there. When you're a quarterback in a running system, when you see something at the line, that means you see it to the left and not to the right. That's from a running standpoint of view.
So second down now for the Blue Devils. They can get a first down before touchdown. The drive by the Blue Devils thus far has consumed 2 minutes 35 seconds, 72 yards, and this will be the 8th play coming up here. On the ground, Rock, left side's got a blocker in front of him, works it down near the 6. Number 65, Perry Glanton, the junior, in on the stop for the Bears. Charles Rock working hard for the Blue Devils.
Statesboro offensive line seem to be getting into some sort of a little rhythm here. I think when you're a running team and your offensive line tend to get better as the game goes on. They get into it. They get used to blocking against the guy. Anytime you play out of your region, you're not used to those guys. So now they're getting used to Griffin defensive line.
Third down. On the ground, Rock left side. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Blue Devils.
I think Statesboro found something on the left side, on their left side of the line. And that was a good, solid, good, hard-nosed football. They stuck to their game plan, and you can see both coaches have an understanding of what they want to do. Statesboro was able to get it done on this series. We'll see if Griffin's able to get it done on that series. And as you see here, just a power play to the left, and they just powered it in there. Good hard-nosed. You see the pad level there of number 37, and that's the key to running backs is pad level.
Rich on to try the point after for the Blue Devils. Josh Ricks connects on that. Blue Devils lead it now 7-0. After the run by the senior Charles Rock, Blue Devils take their early lead in this semifinal ball game.
You can see there with this pad level, Statesboro got their pad levels under Griffin defensive line pad level. Look at the pad level, number 4, number 58, 65. They're under Griffin defensive line pad level, and once you get your offensive guys under their pad levels, it makes it easy for a guy like number 37 Rock to get the ball in the end zone.
Blue Devils on 9 plays and 82 yards with 3 minutes 32 seconds. Cap it off with a 6-yard run by Charles Rock, their leading scorer on the season. And right now the Blue Devils leading the Bears 7-0.
This will be an interesting series for the Griffin Bears because when you get behind against a running team, you want to stay doing what you do offensively. You don't want to break your offensive rhythm because you start doing things that you're not comfortable doing. But this is an interesting series because they need to establish their running game and get their guys going.
Josh Rick will kick it away. And Leon Berry stands near the 9, but they'll kick it away from Berry, and it'll go out of bounds.
What a great decision by number 6. Often in these ball games, every little thing counts, but number 6 there was very aware of what the situation was. He just moved out the way and let the ball go out of bounds, which will allow them to get even better field position.
We're into the second quarter. It's time for our quote of the day. Lisa Weiss has got it.
All right, Charles, the quote of the day comes to us from Statesboro's head coach, Pennington. He said, asked him if they were going to do anything different offensively today. And he said, no, we're going to continue to do the same thing we've been doing all year, which is 4 yards and a lot of dust. It's like the only thing that's going to be different. He's like, at the Dome, hopefully it'll be 4 yards and a lot of burning rubber. Charles, back up to you.
Well, they've already seen some rubber burn on that run by Charles Rock for the touchdown. Blue Devils right now out of the starting gate leading at 7-0.
Yeah, Lisa found the more time she spent with Coach Penny, the more quotes she'll get. He was on staff at Georgia Southern in my early years at Georgia Southern, and he had a whole book full of quotes that kept rolling. The more time you spend with him, Lisa, the more quotes you'll get.
Indeed, you're right. Just an outstanding man, full of character, and it's spilling over to a lot of players for just beyond the football field, but in life overall. Rich will kick it again. This time they have to kick it down to Barry. Barry fields it. Now he's got some room left side with a hole near the 30. Crunched near the 35. Josh Lanier and Prathon Wilkerson converging on the stop for the Blue Devils. On the return by Barry. They get it from the 35 is where the Bears start. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Vorsney before the game to get his thoughts about what's so special about this year's team.
Well, I think these kids believe. They have a lot of character, a lot of heart. I think we've built them spiritually, mentally, and physically, and I think all three of those aspects our kids bring to the table, and that's why where we're at now.
Back to live action on the ground. It was Rainey with the carry. Rainey got it up near the 46, perhaps the 47-yard line.
And Charles, when you build kids with character, then situations like this don't really bother them. You'll see I expect to see his team come back out and answer Statesboro drive. And you can see off the kickoff to the first play here, that's character when you see the numbers on Rainey, 34 rushes for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns in the quarterfinals against Dalton. So you'll see them respond with a lot of character now.
So we'll come back to that graphic in just a second on Rainey as we look after this second down play. Right side, Rainey once again tripped up at the line of scrimmage and somehow eludes 2 tacklers and got it back to the line of scrimmage. We have had a loss on that play if he had not had that second effort in there.
And that's what gets you to these type of ball games, second effort.
We were talking about Rainey and his performance in that quarterfinal ball game, but Rainey did the exact same thing in the second round of the playoffs, ran it for 242 yards, and that was a career high. He doubled it up in that quarterfinal ball game, running for the exact same amount of yards.
And that's why their coach is excited about them being here, because plays like that, he go get the first down when there's nothing there.
On the ground, they work it. It's Rainey again, trying to find some room inside there, but not a whole lot. May have gotten 2, perhaps 3. Corey Rushing, number 33, the senior linebacker for the Blue Devils, in on the stop.
And they have to continue to run. They got 4.5, 5 yards there. They have to continue to run the ball in the middle in order for them to continue to get the ball outside. They have to keep those linebackers at home. They have to keep kids like Rushing and that linebacking core, which is so tough for Statesboro at home.
Second down, 6 for the Bears. Here they come, student body left. Barry with the football. Harris has got it for the Bears. Harris passed the first down marker near the 43.
See, that toss play is almost like a stretch play where the guy just have to, once he gets the ball, the defense is running so hard to get to the corner to keep him from getting to the corner that he's able to find lanes here. As he tossed the ball to him, the linemen are pulling, he's stretching the defense, and now he's just looking for the running lane. And that's the same difference as they call a zone stretch play. And all he's doing is looking for a running lane. And with that kind of speed, he'll eventually find one.
And indeed he did. Harris picks up the first down for the Bears. They give it to Barry. Barry back to the middle he goes. Past the 40 down near the 39.
And this is a great drive responding to Statesboro drive, which is what we expected to see from Griffin Bears, and that's why they're here today.
Senior number 44, Josh McCook, in on the stop for the Blue Devils.
The one thing you don't see from Statesboro is penetration by the defensive front. And I don't think if we don't see any penetration by the defensive front, I think Griffin will continue to have success running the ball left and right, whether it's on the outside, stretching it, getting the 4 and 5 yards up the middle.
Second down now and 6 for the Bears. White on the ground and gives it. Rainey near the 32-yard line, and that's enough apparently for that Bear first down.
You can see Griffin offensive line getting into the floor now. If you watch the offensive line, their offensive line is starting to take over Statesboro defensive line. And when you do that, you'll get 5, 6 yards of carry. You can see here, look at the line fire off the ball. Number 3 ends up with 4 or 5 yards, even 6 yards after the contact. So they're doing a good job up front.
Thus far, what we're looking at, run and pass for Griffin. They've got 72 yards all on the ground. Statesboro mix it up a little bit more. 103 in the air, 50 on the ground. It's Rainey right side to the 30, down to the 29-yard line. Alex Deacle, number 78, the senior, in on the stop for the Blue Devils.
And I think Statesboro defensive line has to get penetration, and Griffin offensive line has to keep penetration out. And that's what you love about this game, and it's that strategy. You know, who's going to be able to sustain what to keep the other team off balance.
Second down play now for the Bears. Well, 5:30 remains in a quick moving first down. 7 to go for the Bear first. Quick pitch left side. They've had success with it early on. It's Harris with the football. Harris working it near the 25, a couple of yards shy of the marker.
And it hit him so quick, as you can see. Number 2, it hits so quick that it's almost puts the defense on their heels. And as you can see, number 2's in motion, Harris in motion, and it hits him so quick. Both the left guard and the left tackle pulls, and so that stretches the defense even more. It's a great football play.
See if the Blue Devils are actually able to counter that, as the Bears have had a lot of success with that early on here in the Georgia Dome. White, short side of the field they go, punching it in left side. Close to that first down marker is Bobby Rainey.
I think one of the ways Statesboro may counter is through their cornerback. The cornerback blitzed the last time when they ran the quick pitch. We'll see if he continue to use the cornerback as the Griffin. Another first down for the Griffin Bears, but we'll see if they use their secondary to try and stop it, or will they use their linebackers to try and stop it. So Statesboro has one or two choices. Do they go in the secondary to blitz the secondary, or do they use their linebackers to try and stop that quick pitch?
First down situation, Bears with 6, Blue Devils with 4, but that may play into the hands of the Bears in terms of play action passing. We'll see though. First and 10, quick pitch, they go right side. This time Rainey with the blockers in front of him. Looking for the corner, but there's Corey Rushing, the senior, to put the hit on him out of bounds for the Blue Devils.
Great play by Corey Rushing, but when you watch that play again, you'll see where it was number 89 who got penetration that strung it out. And if you can string it out, as you see Corey, 76 tackles, 3 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. But when you watch number 89 at the defensive end, he just basically manhandled his guy. Actually number 42. Penetration is the key.
Justin Houston staying at home, and as you indicate, forcing that play to the sideline. Pickup of a yard on the play. Barry fakes motion and come back to the left side with the misdirection. It's Rainey. Rainey inside the 20 down to the 19. And Corey Rushing coming up from under the pile again with the stop for the Blue Devils.
When you're a senior and you know everything's on the line, you'll make the plays that you're supposed to make, and that was a great job by Corey. Look at the replay there. He just take on the block. He took on the blocker and still made the play. What a great play by Corey Rushing.
Rushing, not that big of a player physically, but boy, does he play big on that defense for the Blue Devils. Timeout on the field taken by the Bears of Griffin High School. So Tracy, timeout taken on the field by the Bears. We were talking about this before we hit the air tonight about these semifinal contests. You had an interesting look at this whole thing in terms of saying this is the ball game that's probably the hardest to judge as a player.
For me, when I play, and I think the guys that are playing now have the same position, the semifinals is always the toughest game to win, because if you get a lead, do you play to hold on to it, and then, or do you play how you've always played? You just continue to play the game how it's supposed to be played, but always in the back of your mind is that championship game sitting there. But we get a chance to go to the championship. We get a chance to play in the championship. But we got to get through this game. You just want to get through this game so you can get to that championship. So this has always been the toughest game in most athletes' career, is the semifinal.
After the timeout, White takes a roll right side. Here comes the pressure. They force him to duck it, and there's an interception there by the Blue Devil defense. Picked off by Jadon Butler, the junior linebacker for Statesboro. Wade showing some inexperience there on that play, Tracy. Forced in the pocket as you take a look at the replay and just threw it up for grabs.
And it was all pressure by number 42. He's coming up to be one of the dominant players, but pressure will force quarterbacks to make mistakes. And you can see here where he just had pressure on him. That's just one of them plays that you just hope your quarterback don't make. He made it, so he'll just have to go get talked to by the coach on the sideline and go to the next one. How quick will he be able to move to the next play?
Butler with the interception for the Blue Devils. We talked about the fact that White only took over the starting quarterback job for the Bears the 5th game in the season. The regular starter for the Bears, Cortez Hastings, was injured in the first contest of the season. And then Bobby Rainey, the running back, took over at quarterback, and Rainey got injured.
Well, sometimes injuries tend to play a big key in the ball club because that's part of the game that nobody likes, but it always happens. Injuries are a part of it. Wade's he's done a good job of managing ball club. He just made a mistake there, and I think the coach will talk to him on the sideline, and they'll move on to the next one, because one of the things the coach talked to about was his kids having character, and character always outshine a mistake, or whatever you do, character always will come back up and say, okay, don't worry about it, you'll go to the next play.
Tracy, 3 minutes, 27 seconds left in the first half. You see Coach Pennington talking to his crew at the sideline. But in that drive for the Bears, it took 6 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock, and they come away empty after the interception. Got to be disappointed.
Yeah, you got it. You always, that's one of the problems you have when you run the balls. When you're exclusively a running football team, the clock is always against you because it's ticking, it's ticking.
Coach Dvorsny at the sideline. Now they got to turn their attention to defense. Rock with the carry for Statesboro. And Rock got it up near the 25.
Big number 75. Oh, the tree has been the dominant defensive player out there today. And, you know, he's playing both ways as well because he's also playing on the offensive line. So they're trying to find ways to get him to play through the whole game. You know, when you play both sides of the ball. But these type of ball games, you got to play wherever you need to play to help the team win.
Tyler Ogletree will also appear in that North-South All-Star game at the end of the season. As you look at David Cone on the ground, Blue Devils right side, they punch it to Latavius Maynard, and Maynard got it up near the 27, perhaps the 28.
You can see Griffin starting to do a lot of slant now, and so they're trying to get some penetration. You watch the defensive line there, they slanted real hard then to try to take away some of the running lane. Watch the slanting by the defensive line, and then the offensive line was able to pick it up. Just a good job. You can see the defensive line slanting, but Statesboro did a good job of picking up that slant. And that's one of the ways you try to combat some of the running from a running team.
3rd down, 4 for the Blue Devils. Misdirection flags on the play. Coming left side, stumbling is Maynard behind the line of scrimmage, but we'll check the flag as well.
And that's one of the counters to slant. When you slant your guys one way, you counter it by running counter plays to it, because if they would have slanted to the ball then and Statesboro come by, if the running back does not trip, then you got a pretty good play going.
Penalty decline, 4th down.
A little shift on the play by the Blue Devils, decline by the Bears. That'll bring up 4th and force the Blue Devils to punt.
Good job by the Griffin Bears defense. The turnover, the only thing the turnover hurt was the amount of time they lost on the clock. So they'll get an opportunity to go right back.
McCook will kick it away. Barry stands near the 35. Line drive, Cook. Barry may have a return on this. He feels it at the 34. A correction. It's Rainey on the carry. Rainey's got some room right side. Rainey past the midfield spot. May see a flag coming in here for a face mask. No flag on the play, but that'll be a good return by Rainey. Now the flag comes in. And the Bears will have it in Blue Devil territory.
What a great return by Rainey. But what even better tackle by number 42, because that was a touchdown saving tackle by number 42. So, but you can see what Griffin wants to do. They want to get their kids in open field.
Personal foul against the Blue Devils is the initial indication. So they'll tack on some more on this run from Rainey.
What a great tackle here by number 42.
Personal foul, end of the run, 1st down.
Good job by both teams. You know, I think sometimes, you know, you get caught not knowing where you're at on the field, and things like that happen. But Griffin has just benefited from this time, and we'll see if they can capitalize. The clock, we have to keep an eye on the clock because there's a minute and 40 left, and so we'll see what happens. Will they put the ball up in the air? Will they continue to run it and look for big plays from the ground game?
And this is set. Wade under center. A correction will go shotgun and direct snap to Rainey and a flag coming at the line of scrimmage.
Just a subtle adjustment there, putting Rainey there, getting one of the athletes in open field. See if he can make some things happen.
That's exactly what you talked about. Assessment against the Bears.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, remains first down.
So less than 2 minutes remaining. Bears with a golden opportunity here to try to bring this football game to even. Facing a 1st and 15 now. Same set as before. Rainey, now remember he played quarterback early in the season. He'll take the snap, rolls to his left, getting pressure. Now he'll break the containment. Looking for a block, swings it at the corner. Dances and finally chased out of bounds near the 22. A lot of excitement by Rainey on the carry.
I tell you, that is he made several excellent moves during that period, and this is what it looked like, Charles, if you was trying to tackle Rainey here. It looked like he's a left-hander as well, but this is what it looked like if you was trying to tackle him. Keep the ball always in a throwing position and just kept his feet moving and understand how to get the ball up the field. Just a great move.
Bobby Rainey, only a junior for the Bears.
And you can see Rainey's a little winded there, but there's no time to get tired now, Rainey.
Rightfully so. White back at quarterback. The pitch at left side. This time it's Harris working the pack. Harris got it inside the 15 down near the 14. So that sweep has been very effective for the Bears.
And you can see it hits so fast. Watch how quick it hits on the defensive end. Before the defensive end can get his head up, the ball's by him. And actually what they're doing, they're allowing the guy in motion to outflank the defensive end before he can adjust. And once you get outflank him, no matter what he does, he can't make the play.
That's an excellent analysis on that, because that's exactly what's going on at the corner. Once he gets the ball, he's already got to step on the end.
He already has a step on it.
Second down. There it is again. This time they're going to fake it. They're going to throw it toward the end zone. Bang! Near the 2-yard line. But what a catch by Harris. The crunch was loud here in the Georgia Dome, but the play very effective by the Bears.
What a nice call, too. I just like the call because they've been running this play, and he makes a great throw because no margin of error for the throw because the safety stayed at home, and he made a good hit. That's a good football play by both sides of the ball. Good catch, good hit, and it was a good football play.
We talked about all the sweeps and being early in the ball game. It made them open and susceptible to the play-action pass. There's another quick pitch. Fumble on the play. It's loose down near the 1-yard line. Can you believe it? The Blue Devils have it. The Bears with a golden opportunity is denied as senior Josh McCook, number 44, comes in and comes away with the fumble for the Blue Devils. It was actually Justin Houston who covered the football and was knocked out of there by McCook.
Well, they like to use the linebacker to adjust the play. Let's see where he comes from. I thought he came from the linebacker position. It could have been a linebacker. It looked like it was a linebacker that blitzed in here. No, the secondary. It was come from the secondary, and that was one of the adjustments we talked about. Where are they going to bring it from?
It was Justin Houston, the junior, putting a hit on him.
And then he had trouble handling the pitch as well. So number 22 come in, put the hit on.
So the Blue Devils have it at the 3.
That's what we talked about. Where would adjustment come from to stop that play? And it came from the secondary that time.
Yeah, actually sent Prathon Wilkerson, number 22. And Wilkerson on that replay was the one that put the hit on him. 33 seconds and the clock remaining here. And the Bears.
And Statesboro will be happy just to let the clock run out because they dodged the bullet. But if you're Griffin, you're still in good shape. You get the ball coming out the third quarter. You're in good shape. You don't let the momentum shift too quick because you can see the momentum may have shifted a little on that play. But I think as Statesboro runs the clock out here, flags on the field. But if Griffin would just hold on to their composure, which we know they will because they got a bunch of character kids.
Dead ball, false false start on the offense, half the distance, remains second down.
So the assessment against the Blue Devils, but fully anticipate they'll take another knee here to see if they can't run this clock out. But 2 big hits on the plays by the Blue Devils. The catch of the pass by Harris and the hard stick by Knox, and they come right back. They send Wilkerson from the cornerback position, and he put the hit on the running back to force him to cough up the football.
Right, and that's why I believe you have to continue to run the ball in the middle some to keep them at home. And you know, what a good half of football.
The Blue Devils of Statesboro get the better of this first half from the Georgia Dome. They lead it 7-0 over the Bears of Griffin, as Lisa Weiss is standing by at sideline. Lisa.
Coach Pennington, what a great change of events. 2 big turnovers you get. Unfortunately, you weren't able to capitalize on the first turnover, but the second turnover was huge.
Well, it certainly was. We needed those turnovers because of the fact that they've been knocking on our door, and we needed a break. Well, it's not halftime. You want to talk a minute?
Okay.
Okay.
One of the great high school coaches, man. I tell you, he keeps his composure in a game of this magnitude. He's able to keep his sense of humor with Lisa down there on the sideline and with the staff.
And we have a little time left here in this first half of football. Blue Devils will have to run another play here to bring us to the halftime. So Cone will take the knee at the 1. And the Blue Devils this time will go into the halftime with the 7-0 lead.
How many times you get to interview the coach twice?
David Cone trots off as they lead at 7-0. Some adjustments to be made on both sides of the football. And we'll see if we can get Lisa back with Coach Pennington to kind of pick up on some of his thoughts. He's making some interesting points. And Lisa's ready with Coach Pennington. Lisa.
All right, Coach Pennington, another strange events, but talk a little bit about this.
Live TV.
I tell you, talk a little bit about those turnovers and how huge that was for you guys.
Well, we needed a break. Griffin is just pounding the ball on us. Got a little momentum, and we're fortunate to make some good licks, and also just been in the right place at the right time. So we needed the turnovers.
What are you doing anything different for the second half?
Well, the second half is field position has been key for both teams. We've got to get great field position and keep it that way, and do everything we can to keep them off the football field.
All right, good luck in the second half.
We are back live at the Georgia Dome at the intermission. The Blue Devils of Statesboro leading it 7-0 over the Bears of Griffin. Right now, the fans here at the Georgia Dome being entertained by the Griffin High Band. The Band of Gold, 45 members, directed by Melanie Kane. Drum major is Nina Cox. Tonight's performance, one of my favorite movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, released in 2003. A lot of good songs from that soundtrack. We'll go down, we'll take a listen at some of them. Composer Klaus Badelt with the music.
band the goal, completing their performance. Let's go downstairs to Lisa Weiss. Lisa.
Joining me now is Melanie Kane, the band director of Griffin High School, and this is not only your first year as band director, but their first year at the Georgia Dome. How exciting has this been?
It has been unbelievable. It's just been a wonderful opportunity for both the students and for our school for us to be able to be here, and it's really unbelievable.
Did you do anything different for the halftime show?
Actually, we did. We changed it just today. We added our closer from our second show of the season tonight so that the crowd would have a little something funky to, have a good time with.
Now, it's your first year and you have 45 band members, but you're hoping that's going to grow.
Absolutely. We're hoping to have at least about 75 next year and continue to go forward from there.
All right, thank you very much, and I'm sure we won't get sick of hearing that fight song. Charles, back up to you.
Thank you, Lisa. 7-0's the lead for the Blue Devils at the halftime. Take a look at some of our first half highlights from the Georgia Dome in this Quad A semifinal matchup. Blue Devils on offense. Senior quarterback David Cone getting pressured there by Tyler Ogletree. Big first half for Ogletree on the defense for the Bears. Now the Blue Devils. That's Sherrod Naxon, the sophomore, with a big catch and run for the Blue Devils to get them down inside that red zone. And then Charles Rock, left side, rams it in for the Blue Devils. First and only score of this first half coming on that touchdown run by Rock. Now, the Bears were threatening late in that second quarter, but there, Wade White throws the interception. It's picked off by the Blue Devils, Jadon Butler. And there, on a fumble play, Blue Devils get it back. A couple of good defensive stops for the Blue Devils in that second half as we look at some of these first half stats, Tracy.
Now, the turnovers are things that stick out in these type of ball games. If you turn the ball over, yeah, it'll be tough to win, but Griffin is still in the ball game, even though with 2 turnovers, because they didn't lead the scores.
You look at the flip-flop in terms of yards passing. Blue Devils with 103, Bears with 107 yards rushing, so they kind of wash each other out. Yeah. Real close half, possessions fairly even. Charles Rock with 7 carries, 22 yards in the first half, responsible for the only score.
Griffin got to be surprised by the passing yards from Statesboro, so that's the biggest thing that's surprising to them. Defensively, they got to be saying, wow, we stopped the run, but we gave up the pass.
7-0 your score at the intermission. We'll step aside for a timeout. Then coming your way, it's the marching Blue Devil Band from Statesboro High. We are back live at the Georgia Dome. Statesboro Blue Devils leading at 7-0 over the Bears of Griffin High School. The Statesboro Band performing for the crowd here at the Georgia Dome. I want to get right down into this one, Trace. It's a great performance they have. They're led by director Daniel Keene and Mr. Scott Matthews, drum majors Lisa Beard and Tyrone McCoy. The performance tonight is Fire. They just completed Aztec Fire, that saucy south of the border composition by Jay Bocock. I know you know that one. But they also have my favorite coming up, Great Balls of Fire, and a couple of others. So we'll go down and we'll take a listen.
Marching Blue Devils continue to perform here in the Georgia Dome. Our Lisa Weiss is standing by with the director. Lisa.
Thanks, Charles. Joining me now is the Associate Director, Scott Matthews, and I understand that this is the piece you guys perform in competitions.
Yes, this is actually our whole show. It's called Fire, and it's actually 4 different pieces in one. And tonight we're dedicating our show to our director of band's father, who passed away this week due to cancer.
So have you been successful with this one?
Really and truly we have. We've had a really good season. We've got great kids and great parents. We've had a wonderful trip up, and we just couldn't be happier to be here.
Now, is this the first time you've done this performance at the Dome? I know this is also your 3rd straight year performing at the Dome.
This is our first performance of this show at the Dome. We've been happy to perform at the Dome the past 3 years. It's been great.
You guys always try to outdo yourselves?
I'm sorry?
Do you always try to outdo yourselves?
You know, we try to play the best we can every time, and that's our goal of our program, is to play the best and to give our students the best music education they probably can get.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm sure Charles is up there tapping his feet. Good job.
7-0 is the score. Blue Devils leading the Bears of Griffin. We'll keep tapping our feet for just a little longer, then we'll come back and we'll start the 3rd quarter. Stay with us. We are back live inside the Georgia Dome, the Class 4A semifinals. The Blue Devils of Statesboro High School leading it at the break, 7-0 over the Bears of Griffin. Let's go downstairs to Lisa Weiss. Lisa.
Thanks, Charles. Joining me now is Coach Dvorsny, and I know you guys turned over the ball at an inopportune time and you were ready to score. How does that affect it this second half?
Well, I mean, you know, I guess it's our first time here. We had a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, gave up a big play, then fumbled down here going in. We just got to settle down this second half. We get the ball, so we just got to try to put it in and play a new game.
Did you give your kids any words of advice to kind of calm their nerves?
Man, we just told them, you know, we came out here. First half, we shot ourselves in the foot. We stopped ourselves, penalties, fumbles, all that stuff. So now we just got to play our football game and be ready to come back this half.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in the second half. Charles, back up to you.
Thank you, Lisa. And just to follow up on your point of Coach Dvorsny, he said that earlier in the week that being here in the Dome could be either positive or negative. And as she was sure it's going to be some pressure on the kids, he just had to see how they'll perform through that pressure. First half may have been an indication of some of this Dome-itis, as we call it.
Well, I think Coach Dvorsny is just like most coaches out there who are never happy with their performance. But I think if you're in this situation where they are now, they're in good shape right now. I think he got something they can build on. He understands that. I know he's not happy with it, but I haven't met a coach yet that was happy. But from a perspective, from our seat here, and because we sitting up high looking down low, but I think Griffin's in great shape to make a run at the second half.
Semi-final matchup. The winner will meet the War Eagles. As we take a look at tomorrow's lineup, 3A matchup coming your way at 9 o'clock. The Grangers of LaGrange at 10-3. They'll meet the Trojans of Peach County. Peach County at 10-2. That's the 9 o'clock start here from the Dome. Then at 12, it's the Trojans of Doherty. They're at 12-1. And so too are the Raiders of Shaw. Someone will lose tomorrow in that AAA matchup. That one coming your way at 12. Then the Class A matchup at 3 o'clock. The Tigers of Washington Wilkes High, 11-2 on the campaign. They'll meet Bowden. The Red Devils are 12-1 on the campaign. Then at 6, it's the Falcons of Decula, 12-1, meeting the Broncos of Brookwood. They're undefeated. That should be a good 5A matchup at 6 o'clock, which precedes us tomorrow night in that 9 o'clock matchup, where it'll be the Vikings of Lowndes and the Jaguars of Stevenson, both at 12-1. All of that action coming here from the Georgia Dome live on Georgia Public Broadcasting. Spend your Saturday with us. It'll be a great day of football.
That's a lot of good football games, matchups, some intriguing matchups, but those are some good football teams matching up tomorrow.
Josh Rich on to kick it away for the Blue Devils to get us started in this second half. Barry Leon stands deep for the Griffin Bears. It'll come down to Barry near the 4-yard line. Barry, middle to the 10, now right side. Somebody got a grab of the jersey. They pull him down near the 17.
Number 17 did a good job of getting down there, making the play. He did an excellent job of running through the blocker and not around the blocker. And in those situations, you want to run through blockers to not create running lanes.
Dominique Meredy on the stop for the Blue Devils. Wade White, the junior quarterback for the Bears, back on to lead them in the second half. Wing T set on the ground. They give it to Rainey. Rainey up to the 20, 21, perhaps the 22.
I just think this is a very important drive for the Griffin Bears because they're back in their own end and they have an opportunity to reestablish themselves because they have not had trouble running the football. They've done that portion of what they want to do. They just want to take out the turnovers and a couple penalties, as you see White's number pop up on the screen there.
You only threw it one time in that first half. That one went for an interception. That could be discouraging to stop you from throwing it. But they did have success on the ground, as you indicated, Trace. On the ground they come, left side. Carry by Rainey once again.
And I think this is a good move. He's trying to reestablish and running it also inside. You know, I think as they run the ball outside, he's complimented Coach Dvorsky. He's complimented with some inside running. And I think they're balancing themselves up, which is key for an offensive unit.
Reed Tanner and Josh McCook in on the stop for the Blue Devils. Third down short for the Bears. First possession of this second half. Charles Ward, Tracy Ham, and Lisa Weiss with the play call. On the ground. Banging ahead is Rainey. I don't think he got it. We'll wait and see.
Is it a right foot spot or a left foot spot? Gonna be close. Your first big call of the game, Charles, is the first down or...
This one's not even close. You got to give me something closer.
Fourth down. Okay, good call, Charles. You're the veteran up in the box, so you get to get the easy call.
Boy, we're in trouble, aren't we? Stop was made on the play by Houston, the junior for the Blue Devils. Short of the first down marker. So Michael Ward, the junior, will punt it away. Turns it over, short kick, but it takes a Bear roll. Rolling down near the 25-yard line, down near the 24, so they got the benefit of a good roll here on the carpet.
Well, it's actually, you know, it may look like a bad punt, but it's a good punt in this environment. When you take this environment, this surface, you can take a punt like that and get a good roll out of it.
David Cone, the senior quarterback for the Blue Devils, back into action in this second half. That's what he did in the first half in the air. 2 of 5 for 103 yards. Most of the Blue Devil offense coming through the air in that first half.
Which has to be surprising to the defensive staff, because I know they've worked on stopping the run all week, which they've done a good job.
First and 10 on the ground. Rock works it left side. Rock meets the pack at the 25, falls ahead near the 26.
And you can just hear the pad level. You can hear the pads hitting out there. It's a very physical ball game because from even where we're standing up here, we can hear the pads hitting.
Kashif Spear, the senior linebacker, number 11, on the stop for the Bears. Second down and 7 for the Blue Devils. So a pick up of 3 on the play. Cone's already committed to Michigan. He did that last year. Short drop out in the flats to Rock. They're trying to isolate him one-on-one, but a good open field tackle by the Bear defense. Bryant Murphy, the junior reserve cornerback, on the stop for the Bears.
A good recognition by number 1, Murphy. At first, he didn't seem like he could get lined up. He was able to get himself in the right position and made a good one-on-one tackle. I think anytime you can make tackles in open field, that's good, because a lot of teams try to get a one-on-one matchup, and he was able to make the play.
Murphy, 5'7", 175 pounds, on the stop of Charles Rock. Third down, 9 for the Blue Devils. Shotgun is the set this time for Cone, as he'll take the snap. Play fake, up the field, crossing route, pass incomplete. Laying out for it near the 40-yard line was Connell Thompson, the junior.
You can see why Michigan is excited about getting David Cone. He stands at 6'6", and he throws the ball with a very accuracy. The ball hit him, just a great throw, and that is a difficult throw to hit a receiver like that on the move with the defender coming underneath, and you can see Cone's frustration. I think he just understands that those are plays that they got to make in order to create some separation between themselves and Griffin.
You talked about management, and that was one of the ones they could have managed. McCook with a nice kick here. Fair catch called for by Bobby Rainey near the 32 for the Bears.
What a great throw that was.
Indeed.
By David Cone, and it hit him right on the hands. He's had a couple balls drop that have hit people hit receivers on the hands.
Football will belong to the Bears. Cone's counterpart, Wade White, trots back onto the field for the Bears.
Griffin got to be happy with their defense, though. They forced a 3 and out, and now they're giving their offense a chance. Anytime you can force 3 and out, you give yourself a chance because you get more possessions.
So 1st and 10 now for Griffin. Griffin's first trip to the Georgia Dome. Their first semifinal appearance since 1990. On the ground, it's Berry looking for some room. They force him back to the inside. Got it up near the 34.
Got penetration there by number 42 for Statesboro High. He just did a good job of getting in the backfield. And once you get in the backfield, it caused trouble for the running game.
2nd down and 8 now after the run by Berry. The Griffin program, certainly one of the more prolific in the state of Georgia, although in recent years you haven't heard very much about them, save this year. But you go back into the 70s, 80s, and the Griffin program was one of the ones that had continuous appearance in the semifinals. Actually, during the early 80s, they appeared 5 times in the semifinals. As they work it up the field, this time Harris left side, and Harris runs it near the 1st down marker.
Well, you can see Harris doing a good job finding the running lane. You know, it's just a handoff sweep, just the old sweep. Great block by the number 51 and number 65. But Harris did a good job of finding the running lane to be able to get the 1st down. But what a great block that was by number 51.
1st down pickup for the Bears. Line of scrimmage 43. Quick pitch left side. Looking for some room, and there is Rainey, but nothing to be found. Blue Devils close it up nicely at the line of scrimmage. Leading the surge was Josh Lanier.
Well, Statesboro did a good job of beating Griffin to the point of attack. And you can see the penetration. You see Josh Lanier's number for the season: 38 tackles, 6 tackles for losses. And so Statesboro's done a good job on occasions of beating them to the point of attack. And you'll have that sometime in the running game. So the coaches just live with that. They understand that they just have to live with some plays that will not be positive yards.
3rd down now for White and the Bears. They go on the reverse. Berry looking for some room at the corner. Berry dragged down from behind. Open field tackle by Justin Houston, the junior, a name we've called frequently throughout this ball game. And Houston on the pursuit pulls Berry down.
Number 42, Justin Houston, stayed at home. You can see they had all the flow going to the left. He stayed at home, which is disciplined football. You can see right there he was not going to allow the quarterback to block him, and he ran well then. He just did a good job of playing his position, and that's how you come to the Dome 3 years in a row. You get kids who are disciplined, stay at home no matter what the situation is, play your responsibility.
We talk about the Blue Devils coming here 3 years in a row. They've been here actually 4 times over the last 5 years. And if they win this ball game tonight, they'll get into some pretty good company. It'll be the Blue Devils, Parkview, and just one other school that has been here and won 5 games in the Georgia Dome in the semifinals. But up the field, they fake it, and they get it on the pass to Harris for a 1st down completion.
Nice job by the quarterback, number 10 there, White. He did a good job. Coach come back to the call. That was similar to the play the coach wanted to get off early, but they got penetration. This time, they do a good job of blocking the point of attack. He's able to get the ball out.
So 1st down on the catch. And whistles and flags at the line of scrimmage. Blue Devils trying to get a man off the field. may have some illegal participation there. That second school that's got 5 wins, of course, we couldn't forget them, the Wolves, Buford High. They're actually going to wave the flag off here, Tracy.
That's good company.
Indeed it is.
Yeah. Coach Pennington, never happy. Just like a typical coach, never happy, but always when he always wins and he's still not happy. So when you become a coach, when you win, you at least got to be happy. Now, it's tough to be happy in these situations because you're in a big ball game. But you see Coach Pennington, but if you spend time with him, he's such a great guy, great football guy.
And we'll talk to him before the ball game to get his thoughts about what's so special about this year's team. And here's Coach Pennington.
This year, I guess our special attributes go to our seniors. It's been a very quiet bunch, but a very confident group of young men who have been great leaders, have been determined to get back to this point and really try to get to the ultimate goal, which would be a state championship. Another thing that's been special about this year is that we have truly played as a team. It has not been one person who has carried the load. Everyone has contributed on any given Friday night.
First down play for the Bears. They work it left side. Carry by Rainey. Rainey wrapped up near the 40-yard line. Pick up a 2 on the play. Coach Pennington's comments talking about their big goal was trying to get back to that championship ball game. Of course, they won that 4A title in 2001. And you go back deep into Blue Devil history. They got some Class A titles, 66 and the year you were born, was it 58?
No, not quite. But you would know the history because you're an alumnus of the Blue Devils, and that's pretty good. They've done a good job with the program. They had some down years, just like Griffin had down years, but good programs always come back. They have the ingredients. It's in their history, and they, as Griffin uses as a timeout, they do a good job with building their program back to where they want to be. And every school will go through a period where they have a period in the valley, but they have enough of a foundation that they'll come through.
Because you talk about the Bears of Griffin, we were talking about their history a few moments ago. Had a little lull in the program, but after that, things starting to pick up, particularly this year. But their last state title, 1978. While we talk about the Bears, we caught up with Coach Steve Dvorsny before the ball game to get his thoughts about what he really likes about this whole profession.
I think just giving back to these kids, they need, they need the pat on the back, the I love you, to make them young men, and to see them successful, and just look back in life and say, through this I became what I am today.
The Bears from 1976 to 82 made 5 appearances in the semifinals, 76, 78, 79, 80, and 82. All under the predecessor for Coach Dvorsny, Lloyd Bohannon, and winning as coach in Griffin High School. As the Bears come back the offense, right side, Rainey with the football. They spin her around down near the 35.
And they're just slowing the pursuit of Statesboro down with some of the inside running. Looked like there was going to be the toss, which they've been running frequently. Then they come back inside with a nice little inside run. I thought Rainey did a good job then. Getting on the Dvorsny, I tell you what, he's one of those coaches that probably could have coached back in the day when you could go stay with the coach right. If you didn't have a ride. Those are the kind of coaches, and you'll see that his kids respond well to those kind of coaches, because I think kids still need to be coached like that.
3rd down and 4 for the Bears. Big play here. On the ground, left side, Rainey's fighting ahead for the marker. Looks like he got it, Tracy.
Yeah, just good, tough running by Rainey. That downhill running, not east and west, just north and south. And he understood what the situation was, that he needed to get a first down, and he just put his head down and went behind the left side of the offensive line.
So first down pickup for Griffin. They're down at the Statesboro 31-yard line.
It's been a good drive for Griffin. They've collected themselves. They've gotten through some mistakes, and now they're putting drives together. They can just maintain it through to get to that goal line. It'll be this ball game will take a different twist.
On the ground, left side. Rainey with it again, steps out of one tackle and works his way down near the 27. Finally pulled down by Prathon Wilkerson, number 22, and Josh Lanier.
Rainey's going to be tired tonight because he's been the workhorse for him here. You can see him running behind his number 65 and number 51, just putting his head down. And looked like he was going to get through this tackle as well, but Statesboro was able to hold on with number 22.
Pick up a 4 on the play by Rainey. 2nd down and 6 now. Clock continuing to move here in the Georgia Dome. On the ground is Rainey again, squeezing inside the 25, down near the 24.
But you can tell on this drive here, the Griffin Bears have stayed on schedule. They have not had a penalty or anything to get them off schedule. And when they stay on schedule, they're a tough offense to stop. And Statesboro has not been able to get any penetration to get them off schedule either.
AA semifinals earlier today. It was Charlton County in a great football game, 34-33 over Greene County. Charlton will advance to that AA championship next weekend, and they'll meet Calhoun, who defeated Grady earlier today, 42-20 here from the Dome. So that's the AA matchup championship ball game for next week. Behind the line of scrimmage, a sea of blue just converges on Bobby Rainey, led by number 41, Reed Tanner, and a host of other Blue Devils.
Number 18 also was in on the tackle. Just great penetration.
4th down play coming now for the Bears.
Look like they're going to go for it.
Minute 27 remaining in the 3rd. That would be the initial indication. They haven't sent on a field goal kicker.
Another one of those key junctions in a ball game where it can turn the tides either way here, Charles.
And here comes a big one. We'll see how the tide flows. Rainey has it. Looking upfield, a flag thrown in there. Rainey with the pass. It's complete. Downfield, the catch made by Michael War. War fights it in for the touchdown, but we'll check out the flag situation near the line of scrimmage. Oh, boy, that's a big one against the Bears.
Wow, what a big play. And that's some of the stuff Coach DeVorsny was speaking with after half. Can they maintain their composure? Can they get rid of the penalties and be successful? What a great effort by number 34, though. You love to see that type of effort in these type of ball games.
Illegal motion on the offense. 4th down.
Could not have come at a worse time for the Bears.
Certainly could not have come. You can see right there, you can see number 42 look like he just stepped a little quick. But you can see that what a great athlete Rainey is, and making a throw like that. And then number 34, just second effort. When you see kids give that kind of effort, make me want to see you get down there, Charles.
War able to concentrate on that football, Tracy, to pull it in. Got hit and were able to fight through that as we look at the penalty situation. 5 for the Bears, 3 for Statesboro. It's still 4th down now for the Bears of Griffin. Rainey will take the snap. Here comes the pressure by the Blue Devils. They got a handle on him, and they get the sack, and guess who? It's the junior, number 42, Justin Houston.
Justin Houston, number 42, just played a well ball game. He was not allowing him to get outside then. He kept his pad level outside. You can see for over the season, 58 tackles. Look how he keep outside leverage. He did never let Rainey get outside of him. He just did a great job, and he has a great burst to the ball then.
Houston with a big stop for the Blue Devils. Less than a minute remains in the 3rd quarter. How many times can the Bears get down there and come away with nothing?
Well, as long as their defense hold up, they'll continue to get opportunity. Let's see if their defense can hold up, because it's certainly a critical junction for their defense now.
Cone and the Blue Devils on the ground. Rock wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Good surge by the Bears up front. Bryant Murphy, number 1, in on the stop for Griffin.
Anytime you see a coach go for it on 4th down, that means he has great confidence in his defense. And Griffin defense has played well today, and you can see why he has confidence in them. And so we'll see if they can hold up. And first play of that series, you can see where they made a big play. Limited their gain to 1 yard.
2nd down and 9 now for Statesboro. Pitch right side. It's Maynard. Maynard hit immediately by the Bears.
Number 2, come up with a big play there for the Bears. And you can see they're up for the challenge. That was Sidney Harris come up with a big hit there. And you can see that their defense is up to the challenge.
Back live. We head into the fourth quarter from the Georgia Dome. Class 4A semifinals. Blue Devils of Statesboro 7. The Bears of Griffin nothing. Blue Devils with the football to start us in this fourth quarter with a 3rd down and 9 they face. Cone goes shotgun. Right side, fires in the flats. Pass going to be complete. Charles Rock out of the backfield, the senior with the catch.
This is the type of ball game I think we really expected. Both teams well disciplined. I know Coach DeWesley wasn't happy with the penalties, but they've only had 5. Statesboro 3 has been a relatively well-played ball game. Take the turnovers. Turnovers didn't hurt them because the defense played well. We come into the fourth quarter, and they still have a chance to win the ball game. So you can see it's been a well-played ball game, and Statesboro now has to go back on the defense.
McCook with the punt. Barely got it away, but nice kick by McCook. Fair catch called for by Rainey at the 20-yard line. They'll start it from the 21. And what a show. That show continues to go on and on. It's like that Energizer Bunny. But boy, does it have some good stuff for these kids and everybody in the state of Georgia. Rainey on the carry for the Bears, up near the 22-yard line.
And Rainey's certainly been the workhorse for Griffin Bears, and he's done a good job of getting positive yards when he touched the ball. And Statesboro are starting to key on him, and we'll see the counter off of that because he did a good job up the middle, and then we'll see if they try to go back to the corner, which they've done a good job tonight getting the ball on the corner.
2nd down now for the Bears. 7 to go for the first. Line of scrimmage, their own 24. Quick pitch left side. They give it to Maynard. Now he'll turn back to the inside. He's got some room back on his backside. Looking for some blocks, but it's covered nicely by the Blue Devils. They recovered on the play. Stop made by Dominique Merity, but it was a lot of room for the Bears. The Blue Devils just able to cover that ground.
Statesboro really did a good job of closing after number 2 Harris made a broken play. Looked like it was going to be a pass play when you saw the other guy slip out the backfield. You know, he looked like he wanted to throw it, but there's too much penetration there, and he just started using his athletic ability. Reverse field, Statesboro able to keep some of their guys at home and come back in and make a play.
It was.
That could have been a big, big play for them.
Harris on the carry, 7 rushes, 56 yards on the night. He picks up the first on the run, but it could have been a lot bigger.
Could have been much bigger.
And some equipment adjustments going on for the Bears. Sidney Harris, after the run, had a little problem with the helmet.
As much contact's going on out there, I'm sure there's a lot of equipment adjustment happening going on. Both teams are really playing physical football.
Indeed, you're right. So we're all set now. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Quick pitch left side. This time it's Rainey looking for some room. Got a couple of blockers in front of him. And they just push that pack and push it right out to that corner. Looks like he's running up for the first.
Anytime they don't get, Statesboro does not get penetration, it's a big play for Griffin. If they get penetration, then it's a bad play. Look how many guys they got on the corner. You know, number 99 pushing, Josh McCown making the play right there at the end, and then it started getting a little chippy out there. You know, I don't think guys like being tossed around out of bounds. But anytime Griffin get the corner, normally they get positive yards.
1st and 10 after the run by Rainey. Bears approaching midfield. Now White shouts instructions at the line of scrimmage. Misdirection left side. It's Harris with the football. Harris works it inside of Blue Devil territory down near the 44. Josh McCook, number 44, in on the stop for Statesboro. But right now, the Bears, you talk about momentum, it favors them. They're doing what they want to do up front.
And momentum usually comes when your offensive line is handling the defensive line. And we'll see if that continues throughout this drive, because Griffin has shown in spurts that they can handle Statesboro defensive line. And this has been a miscue here, miscue there that has stopped drive. So we'll see if Griffin can continue on this drive handling Statesboro defensive line.
2nd and short here. Tracy, 3 yards to go for the first. On the ground. They give it to Harris. He slips but fights his way ahead. And they'll mark him down. I think his knee went down near the 43.
This will be a big third down coming up.
They had the play they wanted there. Harris just slipped on the surface.
Yeah, certainly had the play they wanted. Couldn't make the cut. And sometimes that'll happen. You know, you can't make that cut. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, sometimes cuts are difficult to make.
So here's the third down play. It'll be 3rd and 2 for Griffin. Wade circled to the sideline and got the play. He's back in the huddle now. And White will go under center. 3rd and 2 for Griffin. Left side. They give it to Rainey. Fights ahead. He's got enough for the Bear first. He just kept tucking in there till he found the room.
I thought he had great footwork there. He kept his feet moving, did a great job with his footwork and understanding. I think when you get kids who touch the ball a lot like Rainey touches it, he understands situations. And he understood that situation to be that. They need to get a first down, so he kept his feet moving, made a little small moves within the pack, and got a first down.
Some of the Griffin High faithful, she looked a little concerned. Alex Deacle, the senior, on the stop for Statesboro. Rushing yards thus far, Griffin at 174. Statesboro surprisingly at 42. 1st and 10 on the ground. It's Rainey again. Rainey up near the 36-yard line. They see something on their left side of their offensive line, Tracy, that's working for them because they've been punching it in over there last few plays.
And it's been to the short side of the field, so they certainly seem to think they have a better matchup to the left of their offense, the right side of Statesboro defense.
Coach Pennington getting a lot more animated at that Blue Devil sideline. 7:46 remains in this semifinal contest. Winner advances to the championship. 2nd down and 8 on the ground. There's Rainey looking for some room. Blue Devils wrap him up at the line of scrimmage.
You can see the sweat all over Rainey's face. I mean, he's truly been a workhorse today, and he's such an excellent football player. And this time of year they're in such good conditioning that they can handle the workload.
Rainey piled up there by the Blue Devils. That'll make it 3rd down. He has been a workhorse for the Bears tonight. 114 yards after 30 carries for the junior running back.
And I think it's the 30 carries that stands out, because that means he's really in his physical ball game as well.
3rd down, 7. Misdirection fake by White across the line. He throws it. Pass goes incomplete.
Had a chance, hit him in the hands. It was a tough catch. It would have been a tough catch for Rainey to make. Would have been a tough catch, but he had a chance.
Now 4th down here, 6:48. Bears go for it here.
Well, with this situation, when you see this play again, you see misdirection, play action, pressure coming, makes a tough catch, because if it's low, look like the defense would have been there. You know, I got the best seat in the house, so yeah, I'm going to go for it. Well, you eat up so much time on the clock when you run the ball. You don't think you're going to get many more opportunities. So I think what Coach, either way, he can't be wrong, because his defense has been playing well.
They go with Rainey at quarterback. The whistle's at the line of scrimmage before they get the play off. A timeout taken by the Bears.
I think they want to talk about it. You know, it's 6:48 left on the clock, and you don't know how many more touches you're going to get. Your defense has been playing well, though, so it's a big decision for him. I think Coach is okay either way.
Coach Pennington fired up at that Blue Devil sideline. This is a good time to go down and find out what he really likes about coaching.
Well, I think
the best thing I like about coaching is the opportunity to influence young people. And, you know, we're not in the business to impress people. As coaches, we really can't do that. Never satisfy anyone. But if we can influence our young people to have the courage to do right, to stand firm in their convictions, and become better citizens, then the rewards are all worth it. And that's, you know, the wins, they come and go. But the true victory comes later on in life. And seeing those things come to fruition is the great reward.
Boy, he knows how to silence you, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, because it talks about a kid coming back saying, "Coach, I appreciate what you was instilling in me when I didn't know that's what I wanted."
Big 4th down play here for the Bears. Rainey will take it in the line. Railing to his right. Gonna raise now. Throws it into the end zone. It's a jump ball. Batted around and incomplete. Intended down there for Leon Berry, but Berry covered down in the corner nicely by the Blue Devil secondary.
Looked like Berry had a chance to make a play there. The defensive back was in perfect position. Number 18 was in good position right there. Made a great throw. I tell you, that kid's number 3 is a great athlete. When you look at it, number 15 sitting there, the ball hit him right in the hands. He had a chance. It still was a tough catch, but number 15 was back on the coverage.
Michael Rollins, the senior, with the coverage for Statesboro. So the Blue Devils will take it over on downs.
And this would make it tough. You eating up a lot of clock. Now, if Statesboro, it's back on Griffin's defense.
On the ground, Blue Devils left side. Rock looking for some room. Look at the open field tackle there by the Bears on defense.
Number 9 made a great tackle there.
Leon Berry, the senior, with the hit on Charles Rock.
You know, you go from missing a touchdown pass to making just a great tackle. So that's, you know, this is the time of year it is. You got your best athletes on the field trying to make plays.
Berry wrapping up and not letting go. So second down. 9 for the Blue Devils. On the ground, they come right back to the inside. Hard-hitting play.
Just hard-hitting power football. You know, I think one of the key things we need to keep an eye on is Griffin having only 1 timeout left. You know, when you get into these situations, you need timeouts. They have 1 left. And if they can stop them here, timeout's not a big issue. But if Statesboro start putting a couple first downs together, then it'll put Griffin at a disadvantage without having only 1 timeout left.
Charles Rock on the carry. Make it 3rd down and 6 after his effort. On the ground, misdirection. They give it to Maynard. Maynard tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. And big Tyler Ogletree, number 75, in on the trip for the Bears.
That could be the defensive player of the game.
Could be.
The penetration got in there. I don't think Tyler really saw the ball, but the penetration creates problems. And you can see with the timeout situation, they stop, ball goes back to Griffin. Their defense has had a stand-up football game. Because who would ever thought they would hold Statesboro to those rushing yards that they have?
Indeed, you're right.
Statesboro is such a power rushing team.
McCook will kick it. Here comes the pressure. He got it away. McCook's done a fine job all night long with the kick. This one high at the 20. Fielded by Rainey. Rainey crutched in his steps right at the 22.
And that was a disciplined coverage by Statesboro punt team. Rainey is such a great athlete in the open field, and he has to be exhausted. It'll be interesting to see if he come off the field and get a breather. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. They'll say, son, you can rest over the holidays, but not now because we have bigger fish to kill today. So it'll be interesting to see how much they use him in this drive because he has to be worked overtime tonight.
As you look at that replay, look at the block coming up. Coming to the left side. Good pickup on the play there by Kadrikas Matthews for Griffin with the block. On the ground, we go back to live action, left side. And just swarmed.
And you can see Statesboro experience starting to take over. They're doing a good job of just holding them to not positive yards on first downs. And when you get in first down, you want positive yards so that you can get yourself back in a rhythm. And we certainly have to keep an eye on the clock now because I don't think Griffin can stand 2-minute drives down the field without coming up empty-handed.
D'Angelo Tyson, the 10th grader, made the stop on Harris. 2nd down and 9 now for Griffin. Rolling is White, raises, fires at the corner. Catch made there by Berry. A correction, Harris at the 31-yard line. Took a real hard shot after the catch, though.
Harris looked like to be down. Like he may have gotten the wind knocked out of him. Just a good play by the Rollins, number 15, coming up out of coverage. Keeping his eyes on the quarterback the whole time. And then when the ball's thrown, just coming up making a play.
And there, Harris with the ribs exposed. And Michael Rollins takes the legitimate shot. Well, that's in real time there.
That's the kind of ball game it's been. It's been a real physical ball game. Just a lot of contact. If you can just hear what we hear, you know, the pad levels just hit, and you can hear the pads clashing down on the field.
So Harris still down at the 31, took a real hard shot on the play. Michael Rollins, the senior, with the stick. And short of that first down marker, we should note as well, Tracy.
So the clock will start running as soon as they call a play in.
Semi-final matchup earlier today. It was Charlton County 34, Greene over Greene County with 33. Good ball game. Came down to conversion of an extra point. Greene County could not, so Charlton advances. They will meet Calhoun, who defeated Grady earlier today, 42-20 in Double-A action here from the Georgia Dome. And in the Class A matchup earlier today, Coach Larry Campbell and his Red Devils, they defeat Johnson County 48-21.
That's been one of them long outstanding programs with Coach Campbell over there in Lincoln County.
No doubt about it. They'll meet the winner of the single A ball game tomorrow, coming your way at 3 o'clock. Other same Northside and Ball earlier tonight. This is what was in the 4A matchup prior to us. 28-6 Northside War Eagles win that one over Baldwin.
And that ball game was a lot closer as Northside advances to the state championship. That ball game was a lot closer than 28-7. Baldwin actually had a couple opportunities when it was 14-0 to make some plays to stay in the ball game. But in these ball games, man, you have to make those plays.
Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we'll get you going early. Peach County and LaGrange to start you off in the Triple-A division. And then coming your way after that 9 o'clock start at 12, it'll be Doherty versus Shaw. That's a high noon battle from the Georgia Dome. And then after that, the single A, the one we alluded to earlier, Washington Wilson Bowden. The winner of that one will meet Lincoln County in the Class A championship next weekend.
Good to see
Followed
Harris
by the 5A with Decula and Brookwood. That one at 6 o'clock here from the Dome. Should
Brookwood,
be a good one there.
Yeah, Brookwood, another name.
And then we'll close it out with a spectacular one tomorrow night. It's Lowndes, the Vikings of Lowndes, and the Jaguars of Stevenson. We try to use these adjectives to describe it, but that's really what it is. Good set of football coming your way tomorrow from the Dome.
Yeah.
On the ground, Kashif Spear stuck in there at fullback, and he gets to carry, goes ahead near the 33.
And as we were rattling off the games tomorrow, Harris got up to be fine. He was smiling on the sideline. Looked like he just got the wind out of him. So I'm sure as we speak now, he's running back onto the field. So that's good news. Always good to see kids get up and get themselves back in the hunt.
And indeed, Harris back into that Bear lineup. First down on the pickup by Spear. But look at that clock. It's approaching 3:10 remaining here in the Dome. Bears with a lot of ground to cover. This direction, White getting pressure. They wrap him up and they get the sack on him. Reed Tanner, number 41, the senior, on the stop.
Big play after big play continue to be made by the seniors on both sides. This time it's the senior number 41, Tanner, as they play action roll out, and he's just coming in off the corner unblocked basically, and it's a tough play for the quarterback to be standing him down in the face. Just a great rush then by Tanner. I mean, he just got off the corner. He was determined, and you'll see seniors starting to step up this time of the game because they understand what's at stake here. And Statesboro seniors, we've been calling them play after play. One time it's Rollins, then it was Tanner. So the seniors are making plays for him.
The rack snap that goes to Rainey, left side, steps past one tackler, but gets bounced down hard by D'Angelo Tyson as he works it up near the 27-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Bears.
Well, they're off schedule now, and this is what happened to a running team. You get off schedule, you certainly see where number 3, Rainey's been, is a run all the way. He's just trying to sprint to the corner. Statesboro does a good job in their pursuit. Number 17 and 85 finishes him off there. So the clock is becoming the enemy for Griffin Bears.
3rd down and 14 for the first. Rainey, slight roll left. Here comes the pressure. Now back to the right, trying to get a pass off. Finally does. Throws it airborne. Leaping attempt by Barry, but it's incomplete near midfield.
You know, Barry almost made a spectacular play there. Statesboro was in position. They're in position, but the athletes on Griffin team, you can continuously see them. They have an opportunity to make spectacular plays, but they're at a point where they're going to have to make spectacular plays to stay in this one because Statesboro has been very disciplined to be where they were supposed to be. And see, as he throws the ball off there, you can see he was right in position. Rollins was in position, but Rainey just goes up higher than him.
The Rainey Jets, Barry not able to pull that football in for the Bears. 1:32 remaining. 4th down play. This will really tell it all here for the Bears. But only one timeout remaining. You don't convert this first down, you can pretty much close the book.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to run the clock out if we don't convert on this fourth down.
So Rainey with the snap. He's got some time. Statesboro playing prevent. Fires it up the field. Got 2 defenders and receivers there. It's batted away at the 35. It was Akeem McKinney that the pass was intended for downfield, but John Knox coming up from down on the pile for the Blue Devils to bat it away for Statesboro.
Statesboro stayed disciplined. They stayed at home. Griffin had to make a spectacular play to stay in the ball game. They were not able to make this spectacular play. And Rainey shows off his arms. He throws the ball with some, he's giving guys opportunity to catch the ball. Right here, he gives guy hit him right in the hands. Statesboro just got 3-on-1, and it's tough to beat 3-on-1.
Knox knocked it away for the Blue Devils. Prathon Wilkerson was down there as well. And in that one play, you saw any light of a chance for the Bears diminish as the football goes over to the Blue Devils now.
And Statesboro get back to doing what they do as Rock runs the ball. Rock's been the workhorse for Statesboro today. Takes it off the left side. And Griffin will use their last timeout.
So with 1:11 remaining, Coach Pennington just in the face of one of the linemen for Statesboro.
Coach is always coach, because he knows now if he continues to stay on track, he got a ball game next week. So he's just coaching to make the kid understand that, hey, this is not acceptable, because at some point in time he'll need that knowledge to make that play.
Take a look at Coach Steve Dvorsny at the Bear sideline, just really hoping against hope now. Just really looking for some kind of miracle to get them back in possession of that football.
Well, I don't think Coach Dvorsny have any reason to hold his head down. He has a well-coached ball club. Their first time here, you generally see a team that'll come, then they'll come back because the experience has helped them mature as a ball club. He has an excellent ball club. Their defense played as well as I've seen the defense play here in the Dome over the years. I mean, they've only given up 7 points to just a high-powered Statesboro offensive ground game, and they basically shut them down on the ground.
Blue Devils just 71 seconds away from claiming their 5th semifinal win here in the Georgia Dome, joining the elite company of Buford and Parkview as they keep it on the ground to Charles Rock left side.
Well, you know who's going to get the ball this time. They're going to give it to their workhorse Rock. He's their senior. He's been a leader for them over the years, and he's just being rewarded. And the game's not over just yet. Statesboro, I think, still has to get another first down in order for it to be over, per se. But,
third down and 1.
Griffin defense has played well today, Charles.
Indeed. Biggest challenge for the Blue Devils in the playoffs. They beat Douglas County down in Statesboro 16-7, but tonight by far their biggest challenge with a tough group from Griffin. 3rd and 1 on the ground. Fighting ahead for the first down for the Blue Devils is Charles Joyce. Joyce, the junior, with the first down run. Right side, and that'll seal it here for the Blue Devils.
I think what you've seen out of Statesboro's been in close ball games before. They're okay with a 7-0 ball game when you look at their history and how they play the game. Just good old smash mouth football. Coach Pennington finally you can see his face relax for a moment. But your hat's got to go off to Coach Dvorsny and the Griffin Bears. They had a heck of a season. They played well tonight, just couldn't get over the hump. The defense played really good football tonight. They just couldn't get it done on the other side of the ball.
So the Blue Devils hang tough all night long in the Georgia Dome. They got that early touchdown. They led it 7-0. They kept that lead throughout the ball game. A lot of good scares by the Bears, but the Blue Devils are able to hang on. They win at 7-0. We'll step aside for a timeout. We'll come back with a wrap-up from the Georgia Dome. We are back live at the Georgia Dome. The Blue Devils have hung tough. They win this semifinal matchup 7-0 over the Bears of Griffin. They advance to the state championship finals next weekend. Lisa Weiss is standing by with Coach Pennington and a large group of Blue Guides in jerseys.
Thanks, Charles. Very happy and relieved Coach Pennington is joining me. How exciting is this for you and these boys behind you?
Well, it's probably exciting for them. It's relief for us coaches. We're getting a little too old for this. But I want to credit Griffin for just a great contest. They fought hard. Our players fought hard, and we're fortunate and blessed to come out on top.
I know. Talk a little bit about what your motto's been all year. The drive for three begins with me.
Well, we on the very first day of practice, we had every player repeat, the drive for three begins with me, where each one had to take their own personal responsibility to get us back to the state championship for the third time in a row. We're there. We just hope the third time's going to be the lucky charm.
Well, we'll be right there with you, Coach. Thank you and congratulations. Charles, back up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And that means that we drive down to Statesboro for some championships next weekend. Blue Devils win at 7-0 in this semifinal matchup. They advance to the finals next week. For Tracy Ham, Lisa Weiss, I'm Charles Ward on behalf of all of us at GPB. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for another full day of football from the Georgia Dome.